Chapter 309. The taillight sword spun in the air and shot at Yunxiao again. This time, Yunxiao's scalp really went numb. Mr. Yu's control of 9th-tier mystic artifacts was far beyond his expectations. Although this strike was not as powerful as the Martial Emperor's punch back in Yanwu, it was not much weaker. He didn't dare to hold back any longer. The Divine Realm tablet shot out from between his eyebrows and shook toward the small sword. The spiritual energy in his body gushed out crazily, and the Great Realm Divine technique circulated around his body. The two waves of territory power spread out like the laws of the world, pushing away the weapon intent on the taillight sword and suppressing it. What? Mr. Yu's expression changed. The weapon essence and pressure from the opponent's profound level weapon were not any weaker than his taillight sword. What shocked him more was that the taillight sword was being restrained and was rapidly consuming his mind. Every time it was activated, it was 100 times more difficult than before. Ripple Scamper, activate. Mr. Yu's hands kept changing, and a strange spell was cast. A strange power spread out from his fingertips, filling the entire space. The surroundings began to distort greatly, and the space was squeezed toward the Divine Realm tablet, as if it was going to erase the profound level weapon from the space. Spiritual domain. Yunxiao was taken aback, and his pupils quickly turned blood red in horror. On the path of martial arts, a martial supreme of the 8 Desolation Realm could form his own martial intent domain. Within the domain, there would be a venerable. It was the same for alchemy. The symbol of an 8th-tier supreme alchemist was the ability to spread out his domain with his mental power, which meant that the alchemist's soul power had reached the level where he could refine 8th-tier products. Mr. Yu opened his spiritual domain and was about to release the tablet into the void. In other words, the other party was at least an 8th-tier supreme alchemist. No wonder I've been feeling so strange. It turns out that your true strength is not that of a martial emperor, but an 8th-tier alchemist. For the first time, Yunxiao felt great pressure. In terms of martial arts, the other party was stronger than him. In the Tao of Wheel, the other party was stronger than him. When it came to the control of a 9th-tier profound armament, the other party was still stronger than him. Since his rebirth, this was the first time that all his domains had been completely suppressed by the other party. Eye technique, restriction. Yunxiao's eyes burned with a towering fighting spirit. In his previous life, he was known as the #1 in spiritual attacks in the realm of heavenly martial arts. When had he ever allowed anyone to be presumptuous in this field? A raging battle intent shot out from his eyes, and the great expansion divine technique appeared in his sea of consciousness, transforming into soul power without end. The entire world turned blood red at this moment, squeezing towards that distorted space, as if to smash the other party. At this moment, the Divine Realm tablet also shone with a golden light, pushing away the surrounding mental power and continuing to suppress the tail light sword. In fact, even if Yunxiao had not made a move, the Divine Realm tablet had the Earth of Breath, which could stabilize the rivers, mountains, seas, and 9 continents. It was impossible for it to be dragged into the void turbulence by an 8th-tier alchemist with mental power. Are you an alchemist too? Mr. Yu was shocked, but then he said, "No wonder you have so many profound level weapons and treasures. Who is your master?" In his opinion, Yunxiao's things must have been given to him by his master. Seeing that Yunxiao was ignoring him, Mr. Yu became angry and snorted, "Since you're not willing to reveal your master's heritage, then I'll just kill you directly. Although your spiritual attack is very sharp, your level is too low. Do you think you can show off your skills in front of an expert?" Ripple rush, break. The surrounding space changed, and Yunxiao's blood-red world rapidly declined, pressing back into his eyes while his mind began to hurt violently. Under the huge spiritual pressure, Not only was his sea of consciousness almost crushed, but his physical body also suffered a great impact at this moment. The supreme tyrant body was condensed, and his muscles bulged. His whole body seemed to be twice as strong as before, emitting a faint yellow light to resist the power. As if it was not enough, 24 moonlit bridges left his body and brightened the underground space as bright as day. Under the pressure of mental energy, a space was forcibly opened. Not only does he have a divine body, but he has also cultivated a body-refining technique. Mr. Yu's pupils contracted, and he said in surprise, "In addition to your cultivation in martial arts and sorcery, you're still young. My God, how can you have such monstrous talent?" His eyes were filled with killing intent as he said coldly, "It's a good thing I met you today. Otherwise, you'd be a great threat to my monster race in the future. Today, you shall die here and become the first withered bone in the revival of our demon race." His figure flickered as he rushed down, raised his fist, and punched at Yunxiao. In addition to the surging demonic qi, the powerful pressure on the wind of the fist penetrated through the bone marrow, giving rise to an irresistible force. Within the same rank, it was almost impossible for humans to match demonic beasts. It was because of their powerful physical strength, which was dozens of times stronger than other martial artists of the same level. The monsters also inherited such strong physical strength. Mr. Yu's punch was so powerful that it almost shattered the space. Phew! Vajra fist. Yunxiao roared and threw out a punch without any fancy moves. In this kind of confrontation, any martial technique was insignificant. In addition to absolute strength, it was also a competition of the various trump cards and the understanding of martial arts and techniques. Even the Vajra punch contained supreme martial intent Dao fruits when he used it. Boom! The two fists collided fiercely. Although they didn't come into contact, a black crack appeared between the fist wind and gradually spread out. The terrifying power that was emitted from it seemed to want to devour everything. The force of the collision of the two fists actually opened a spatial crack. Boom, boom, boom. The space around him was almost swallowed up by the crack, and Yunxiao felt like his body was about to explode. The mighty body he was so proud of had been pushed to its limit by the punch, and it was about to collapse at any time. Mr. Yu's heart was filled with fear. He knew very well in his heart how powerful his punch was. Over the years, he had carried out all kinds of experiments, refined countless demonic beast bloodlines, and carried out continuous fusion and experiments. In the end, he performed some safe secret techniques on himself. His blood even had a power that was not inferior to the bloodline of a true dragon. With the strength of such a physical body, if the other party had the same cultivation base, he would definitely be smashed into pieces with a single punch. He would completely collapse in space, and it would be difficult to even retain his flesh. Such a powerful punch was actually received by the other party, and it was also received by relying on the physical body. How could he not be shocked? He broke out in a cold sweat. Finally, Yunxiao could not hold on any longer. He coughed up a large mouthful of blood and was thrown far away like a kite with a broken string. The Divine Realm tablet that was suppressing the taillight sword was also affected. It turned into a stream of light and chased after him, flying back to the space between his eyebrows. Mr. Yu waved his hand, and the taillight sword flew into his palm. It instantly grew 30 times larger and turned into a 3-foot-long blade. Holding it in his hand, he walked step by step in the direction where Yunxiao had fallen. His killing intent was extremely strong. The shock Yunxiao had brought him was too strong. If he did not kill this man, he would not be able to sleep at night. He walked over with a few steps, but was stunned when he found that Yunxiao was completely gone in the limited space. Only the Divine Realm tablet was left standing on the earth like a tombstone, with light flowing on it. Since his rebirth, he had escaped into the Divine Realm tablet during the first battle. At the moment, Yunxiao was lying on Mount Inch, covered in blood and vomiting blood. Under the last punch, his overlord body almost collapsed, and his internal organs, limbs, and meridians were completely destroyed. If they didn't escape into the Divine Realm tablet, they would be completely dead. Fortunately, the nature-defying characteristics of the tyrant body allowed him to absorb a lot of the power from the other party's punch while he was being destroyed. He began to repair his body continuously. Ha 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 ha. Suddenly, Evil Dragon's loud laughter could be heard. He seemed to be laughing very happily, and he felt like he was about to cry. His cultivation base, soul power, profound level weapons, and physical body were all suppressed by the other party. Ha ha ha. As a peerless martial sovereign, you've never had such an experience, have you? Ha 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 ha. The demonic dragon seemed to be very excited and kept laughing. Yunxiao smiled wryly. If not for the Divine Realm tablet, which was a place to escape, he would have really died this time. With a thought, a trace of divine sense spread in the Divine Realm tablet. Duanyu, who had no idea where he was, opened his eyes slightly and said in surprise, "It's that powerful? All right, I'll meet this person." He stood up and waved his hand. An earth-shaking roar came over, and the sky flashed with the crackling sound of thunder. The dark thunder landed on the clouds and snuggled up next to him. His aura had obviously changed from before, and he was now on par with Duanyu. In the underground cave, Mr. Yu scanned every corner with great vigilance, but he could not find Yunxiao's voice. He had a strange look on his face. Although the sacrificial array could shield divine sense, as an 8th-tier alchemist, he was not affected at all in this small space. However, he had searched every corner and could not find any aura. Finally, he turned his eyes back to the Divine Realm tablet and studied it carefully. Could it be that this jade tablet can also break open space and he's hiding in the void? Mr. Yu frowned and shook his head, mumbling to himself, "That's impossible. Even if he entered the void, he wouldn't be able to escape. I can't sense any coordinates. Could he have escaped into the jade tablet?" This thought gave him a fright. He didn't believe it. That's even more impossible. Other than the legendary Supreme Xian artifact, Noah's ship, no other Xian artifact can do this. He stared at the Divine Realm tablet and muttered to himself, "But why is the fluctuation of this profound artifact so strange?" Well, since he has such a brilliant way of hiding himself, I'll take this profound level weapon first. It's not a loss. Mr. Yu reached out his hand and grabbed the jade tablet. This jade steel was definitely not inferior to his tail-light sword, so he had been mentally prepared that it would not be so easy to collect it. However, the moment his palm touched the jade tablet, a bolt of lightning shot out, creating a powerful arc of lightning that flickered in the surroundings. His body went numb, and he hurriedly withdrew his hand. Just as he was feeling surprised, a roar was heard. Then, a huge demonic beast flew out of the Divine Realm tablet and pounced on him. It's actually the beast taming steel. Mr. Yu's heart skipped a beat. He thought that the Divine Realm tablet was a profound level weapon that could contain demonic beasts, like those beast tamers. Although Dark Thunder was extremely violent, it did not panic at all. With a cold snort, it took a step forward and struck out with its palm. Boom! The Dark Thunder's thunderbolt was shattered by his palm power, turning into countless electric arcs that scattered in all directions. The Dark Thunder suffered a huge impact and was sent flying far away. White Flame Ghost Kill, 6 Extreme Halberd. A cold voice was heard. Under the heavenly halberd, a flame quickly appeared in the air and enveloped Mr. Yu. You're Ing Luo. Mr. Yu was shocked. On the other side of the fire, an unfamiliar face was staring at him coldly. Under Duan Yu's attack, the Blue Lotus earth fire in the surroundings swept up and roared as it blasted forward. What the hell is going on? Mr. Yu calmed down immediately. With a cold look in his eyes, he swept his taillight sword across, making an ear-piercing sound. The surrounding flames were all spread out and fell behind him. His killing intent was so strong that it was almost tangible, and it directly locked onto Duan Yu. Speak, where are you from? Where's that young man? The cold voice sent a chill down Duan Yu's spine. The man in front of him was even more powerful than what Yunxiao had said. Both he and Dark Thunder had used their most powerful moves, but the other party had only managed to neutralize them with a single move. They had no way of resisting. Damn it, that brat screwed us over. What's the use of calling me out against such a powerful opponent? Duan Yu was so shocked that he broke out in a cold sweat when he sensed the almost tangible killing intent from the man. Moreover, the weapon essence that spread from the taillight sword almost suffocated him. If the other party had slashed down, he would have died without a doubt. Hee, you know the answer, but you still ask? You just can't believe it, right? Duan Yu answered carefully, cold sweat rolling down his forehead. Mr. Yu's expression changed drastically. He stared at the Divine Realm tablet and trembled all over. His chest heaved up and down violently. This is really a supreme-grade, profound-level weapon. He was an 8th-tier great alchemist, so he naturally knew what a supreme-grade, profound artifact meant and how valuable it was. In the mainland's records, only the unparalleled Martial Emperor had refined a super-grade, profound-level weapon Noah's ship. There are no other records of a super-grade, profound-level weapon. How could there be one out of thin air? He was so shocked that his mind was in a daze, and he was a little dazed. Not to mention the powerful strength of the transcendent grade, profound-level weapon, the person who got it would be able to become a peerless master. Moreover, that kind of refining method was something that countless top alchemists would go crazy for. All of a sudden, Yunxiao's face flashed on the Divine Realm tablet. His eyes turned into crescent moons, and his powerful spiritual power spread out. With a slight pull, he was about to suck Mr. Yu in. If he could pull the other party into the Divine Realm tablet, even a 9 heavens martial sovereign would have to kneel down. Mr. Yu's body trembled. He felt the space around him change drastically, and his body seemed to be pulled by a strong spiritual power. But he was an 8th-tier alchemist after all, and he immediately came to his senses after a brief moment of distraction. His surging soul power spread out and easily shook Yunxiao's mental power away. He stopped in front of the Divine Realm tablet and was almost sucked in. A look of strong disappointment appeared on Yunxiao's face, and he disappeared in a flash. Mr. Yu was so shocked that he was covered in cold sweat. Although he didn't know what would happen if he was sucked in, he couldn't predict what would happen if he was sucked in by a supreme-grade Xian artifact. He guessed that he would be killed. Just as he was in shock, a light flashed on the Divine Realm tablet, and a powerful force rushed out. Then, a fist the size of a casserole grew bigger and bigger in his eyes. Mr. Yu quickly threw out a punch, which collided with the stone beast's fist. Boom! Here is Chapter 366 of the novel, The Eternal Supreme. If you want to know the upcoming developments of the novel as soon as possible, listen to the audio version on the Best Audio Novels YouTube channel. The link is available below. Please give me a like and subscribe to motivate me to create more videos. Thank you very much.